Hello, I'm Pampelinka and you probably know me from my YouTube shorts or my normal videos. I assume you clicked on this video because you want to learn Blender. Well, this is a redo of my bit older Blender tutorial because after learning a bit more about Blender, I realized how bad it is, how horribly bad it is. Okay, so in this video I will be covering how lighting works, how camera works, render settings, weight painting, how to remove body parts, how to add a controller bone to move the whole rig without going into object mode, how to add more faces into the rig, and how to texture it again because somehow it was really badly explained on my last tutorial. So please like and subscribe because this will be a lot of yapping for me and I'm not used to yapping this much on YouTube. Okay, you will need faces folder, texture folder, and accessories folder. But yeah, you will need those. Yes, you still do need those folders, but you can put accessories folder into texture folder if you make two separate ones, so it's a bit less messy on your desktop or whatever. Okay, now hop on Roblox Studio, import your avatar, and just follow whatever I do. Spawn the avatar at origin, so it's in the middle. Same with accessories. I would recommend rotating it since somehow when I import my accessories, they're just like inverted in Blender, so just rotate it, it's gonna look better. Yeah, honestly, you still do that, yeah, you still do that, but I would recommend using the Moon Animator character importer because it doesn't change the accessories sizing or whatever if you use the accessories custom thing from Roblox. So yeah. Right after that, you will have to click on your avatar in the Explorer and export the selection to your texture file, since for now we're saving textures. Okay, so you click on export selection, pick your folder with textures, only textures, not accessories, and you save the character texture. You will need this because it's just for your character in Blender. Okay, you can delete every single accessory of the character because it's gonna be easier. You're not gonna have more different PNG there or whatever. And yeah, I forgot to add, but if you want to use the custom faces like I do in my videos, you have to remove the face from your Roblox. You click onto head and then you remove the face and that's it. And yeah, that's it. And after that, you will have to remove everything except for the accessories from your rig. So yeah, that part is wrong. You do not have to remove anything from your rig. You can just select the accessory that you want to export, or two accessories. For example, if you have a hair and bangs for the hair and you want it to be in one thing, you have to select two and then export. You do not have to remove anything from your rig on Roblox Studio. And export the accessories however you want. For example, I'm just gonna be exporting the glasses since that's the only thing I'm gonna be adding to my rig here because I already have all of the things, right? But if you want the accessories to animate separately, you will have to put them in a different file. For example, hair file, hat file, whatever you want to name it. Of course, it's your choice. And yeah, you just have to assemble them separately, not in once. Technically, you can save them in once, but they were just gonna be connected, you know? And I'm absolutely right. You cannot save accessories in one because they're just gonna be connected. For example, if you save a hair accessory with a back accessory, they're gonna be connected. And if you move and if you attach it to the head, the hair, with the back accessory, it's just gonna move together, and that's wrong. That's hella wrong. That's gonna look bad. Okay, so after that, you hop into Blender with the rig file that you're gonna use. I'm gonna be using this amazing rig that I found from this creator that will be tagged in description. Basically, it's gonna be their video of the rig that you can get. You can here select your rig. I will be selecting the middle one since that's the one that I use, but the other ones are explained how to get. Okay, so I still use the same rig. You can either use the first one, which is basically if you animate anything in Blender, you can export it to Roblox Studio if you make games or whatever. And the middle one is the one that I use, which is a basic I-key rig, which basically the legs are connected to the ground or something, so they don't move that much. And the other one is a basic R6, which you can also use the faces with, which I personally don't use, but you can if you don't like the I-key run. Okay, so after you find that the faces are purple, you click on File, click External Data, and find missing files. Then you have to click on the faces files. You have to extract them, of course, before. And you should do that 2 times. I mean, I do that 2 times, then Ctrl-Z it, and somehow it works. So I don't know how that works for y'all, but that's how it works for me. And after that, I have the faces file, right? So yeah, I still have no idea why it does that, but if you click Ctrl-Z after you do that 2 times, it should work, or I don't know. I still have no idea why it does that, okay? Leave me alone! So the green bone will move the faces. You have to go into pose mode to move the avatar. That's basically how to get the rig, right? Okay, so after checking that your rig works, you go into shading and you have to select your body onto object mode. and then you have to click this little texture ball and select body. Then you click add and add image texture like I did in the video. And then you have to select your texture that you previously imported from Roblox Studio, from your avatar or whatever avatar you want. As you can see in the video, I have 2 MTLs for the image texture for my rig. You have to pick the right one. Nothing happens if you pick the wrong one, you will just have to repick it, don't worry. But the important part here is that if you pick the wrong face file, basically if it moves wrong, like it doesn't completely if you move the face, it's not gonna move, like it's not gonna work. Basically you just have to go back to shading and click the right one. Basically it's called basic dummy key, which is the one I use. But if you pick the different ones from the rigs that we've seen before, you have to just click that one, right? It's named there. Then you click on the little ball again and select the face so it works. If you select the wrong one, it won't work with faces. This is like really important here. But wait, how do I import accessories? Okay, so you go to File, Import, and import OBJ file, since that's the Roblox saving file. Find your accessories file and pick the accessory that you wanted to pick, or the group accessories. And you just import it, adjust it, right? And that's it. Small add here, if you like right click on the accessory and select like the origin, it's gonna like move better. Like, you don't have to do this. This is like an add-in stuff, like it's just something you can do. It doesn't matter much, but it just looks better, okay? But wait, how do I touch it? Okay, so you go into pose mode, select the bone that you wanted to attach to. For example, it's gonna be head for me, and select the thing that you wanted to attach to. For example, mine is gonna be the turtleneck. I pick it, click Ctrl P, and bone relative. And here it is, attached to the head, and I can move it around, it's attached. Yes, you can edit it if you go into object mode and click the accessory. Of course, you can always edit it. That's it here. Animate accessories. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of tricky. You go into edit mode this time, and you select the bone that you wanted to, like, for example, I'm gonna be animating the cone, right? As you select the bone, click edit mode, click E, and then you will have another bone. Make the bone how big as you want. So yeah. And then click on it. Right click and click parent, clear, and disconnect bone. Then you can move it however you want it. I'm gonna be, for example, just moving it so the cone can be movable fully however I want it. The only thing I'm gonna add here is basically if you're gonna disconnect a bone, in newer Blender like versions, the bone actually disconnects from the main bone, so you just gotta attach it. For example, if you add another bone to like the head, like add it with the cone, you gotta attach the cone bone to the head again. So basically Ctrl P again, and it's gonna work. After that, you just attach the accessories to the bone that you just created, and that's it. It will work perfectly fine, trust me. And wait, how do I animate it? You go into pose mode and you just move the bones. There's this little ball that if you click it, it's just gonna auto keyframe your stuff. Basically, keyframe is saving the movement of your thingy. Like, for example, I'm gonna move the hand, I'm gonna keyframe it so the app remembers how to like put it, right? And you can also click I to keyframe it if you don't wanna use the auto keyframing. It's gonna work perfectly fine, as I'm showing here. Just basic animation, right? And if you right click on any kind of keyframe, there will be something like dope sheet, right? There is like information mode. I don't know if I said it right, but yeah, that thing on T, there is like stuff that you can pick from. This is just basically your easings, right? They will just work differently. If you pick the bag that I use for most of my animations, it will just bounce, we can say it. And easing mode is just picking how it's gonna like go. I don't know how to explain it either. You can just play with it. It's a lot of fun, trust me, and I highly recommend using them a lot because they save your life, okay? Okay, in the next part of the video, I'm gonna be showing my render settings then, which I use CPU and not GPU, which is a big mistake if you actually have a good PC and you don't know anything about good render settings, which, look, everything that I'm showing there is mostly bad because of CPU. But most of them are still good, which I'm actually gonna compare with my normal render settings that I have right now in a second. And this part is also gonna be really important because that's where your video is gonna save, and like how the music is gonna save, and the whole camera thing. I actually don't know the name, canvas size. And here I will be showing how Eevee and cycles look differently because someone of y'all might use Eevee, which I personally don't use. I use cycles, but basically Eevee doesn't show reflections and cycles does. And yeah. Okay, but wait, how do I add sound? You gotta go to video editing, click add and sound, and you pick your audio that you previously downloaded from someone. Like, you can get it from YouTube, TikTok, whatever you want, honestly, it's your choice. And you just put it there, and it's supposed to like work with like the animation you do. It's gonna like show in the rendering, of course, it's gonna be everything. And yeah, it's just gonna be there. I didn't explain it in the video there, but if you add like more frames, that's basically how long your video is gonna be. I don't know how much seconds it is per frame, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you can Google that. I personally use 24 FPS in my Blender files, so yeah. Okay, so here's a small explanation how the camera works and how to add a camera. Basically, we have a camera, right? You click on it, you can move it, it works. Like, I'm gonna add a second window so you can actually see what's going on with the camera, so it's better to explain. And yeah, okay, so moving camera works, right? Moving it works. You can see here, right? Yeah. And if you click this like other like thing on the camera, the one that looks like a mirror or whatever, if you click on it, you can change the POV or POV of it. I actually don't know the name of that, but you can change how like you can see it type thing. And how to add a camera if you somehow don't have one, you click on add and camera, or shift A and camera. It's the same thing. And for lighting, how I do my lighting, like this. I use the area lighting, which is basically a square, and I also use the same area lighting, but that's the other one is an oval, which it doesn't change much, but I don't know, I just put it like that. Okay, let me be. Here you can see my settings for each of my lighting that I use. Yeah, you have to put a lot of power and exposure for it to actually like show up, because if you put like only one, like single number one, it will not show up like as bright as it should be, okay? There might be a problem. Also, this is like a cool pro tip. If you don't want your lighting affecting anything else than your rigs, you go into like object thing, light lighting and linking, and you put a collection in there, which I recommend making a rigs collection like I have, and putting every single rig or every single thing that you want your lights to like show up on. If you don't want your floor on that, you don't put the floor in there, okay? That's it. Okay, and how to remove a body part. First, select the body, not the bones. Go into edit mode. Then you click the green thing, that's like a ring triangle. I'm gonna turn off like every single accessory I have before so it's more visible, but you don't have to do that. It's not an important step. Then you go into the triangle. Like, I'm here struggling to look for it. Click on the thing you want to remove, select, and then you have to click delete on your keyboard and vertex, and kaboom! The head is gone. You can do that with like every single other body part. For example, if you want to have different body, like you have to export it from Roblox Studio and then it should work, like if you attach it, of course, but yeah. Okay, so how do you add more faces into the rig? If you want to add more, you have to click into pose mode, click your bone of the faces, then the last option that I'm showing, and then you have to like change this thing that I was moving, go into item, copy this thing, find the last face because yeah, you have to find that. The last one is gonna be the one before the purple one. And that should be it for this. You copy that and put it in the thing that I was showing. Oh, and to add a custom face, you have to put it in the faces file and name it the number after the last number. So if you have 139, then it's gonna be 140, and then goes on and on and on. And how do I add a controller bone like this? Basically, you just add a new armature, then Ctrl J on your normal armature so it's connected, or you can add a new bone in the edit mode of the armature that we already have, aka the rig. Then you put it in between the legs or anywhere in that area, or just anywhere you want, honestly, but I prefer put it in between the legs because that's where the pivot point is gonna be. Then you have to select the torso and the legs, not the legs, but like the little legs that you can see, the green ones that I have there. And then you have to add child of constant, and it should work. And you put the child of constant on the bone that we have, and kaboom, it moves. Wait, and how do I animate accessories that are like hella advanced, right? Okay, so how to animate hair, for example, or anything. It's called weight painting. Basically, you have to add a lot of bones to the same armature. And for example, the hair, you have to add like everywhere, like the bun, the ponytail, the bangs, whatever you want it to move. Then you have to connect it with Control P, but not bone related, bone like with automatic weight paints. Then you have to go into object mode. First, you have to click on the armature and add the names to the armature so you know which one is which of the bone, so you don't get confused, because I personally get confused with weight painting. Then you click onto object mode, click the hair, and weight paint, and then you just fix up whatever automatic weight paint did, because I'm gonna be honest, weight painting is bad. Like, automatic weight paint is so bad. Personally, I recommend watching a better tutorial than mine for weight painting. This isn't that important step if you just want to make a normal animations for Roblox. But yeah, I will link a better tutorial that I would personally use if I was gonna, so yes, there will be links in the description. And also, you can add consent to the bones after you do weight painting, because it will just make the hair move by itself. For example, hair, if you make it on the hair, like I did. As you can see, it's on damped track. I'm showing my settings there. I will also link a really good tutorial video for this, because that's too much explaining here, but it isn't as hard. It's just a small add-on that you can add to make them like make your hair move by itself.